From the Foundation Studio right here on Biloxi's Back Bay, I want to welcome you to SuperTalk Outdoors, where we celebrate every single Monday at lunchtime the world-class outdoors of the state of Mississippi, because we are the capital of the outdoors in America. I want to thank you for joining us on the powerful SuperTalk Mississippi Radio Network, or on SuperTalk TV at C Spire TV. But some of you may be watching on YouTube or Facebook, or listening on your favorite podcast. It's October the 23rd, 2023. I especially want to thank the sponsor of SuperTalk Outdoors, the Foundation for Mississippi Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks. They're the only outdoor foundation that directly supports the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks, and we really appreciate their leadership in this state. By the way, the views on this show are mine, not those of the foundation. When it comes to outdoors and outdoors issues, you can count on me to say what needs to be said, and I'm honored to be here. We've got a great show today. We're going to be joined by Captain Brent Madden, who's going to give us the latest on Conservation Officer Training Academy and recruitment efforts. Then we're going to be joined by my friend Cuz Strickland from Fistful of Dirt podcast and from Mossy Oak. And then Nicole Smith is going to join us from the Mississippi Museum of Natural Science, and we're going to talk about the latest there. So without any further ado, let's move over to my friend Captain Brent Madden. How you doing, Brent?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Where are you sitting right now, my friend?
I'm actually sitting in Chief's office at our headquarters in Jackson.
Good deal, man. So how's it going? Do you have a class about to graduate at some point soon, or what's the latest there?
No, sir. We had one graduate September 1st. They're finishing out their first month on the FTO program, and we're getting ready to eval out our 2021 class or 2022 class. So, and we're hitting the ground running right now, recruiting folks for our 2023 class.
Well, as you and I have talked before, I mean, the training is different. You know, in the old days, you might have given them a gun and, an hour talking to, and then give them a truck and tell them to go be a conservation officer. Those days are not here anymore, are they?
No, sir. They go through about 18 months of training now. They go through 6 months of academy life, and then it's a full year of field training.
Yeah, I know you guys work hard recruitment efforts are critical because there's a lot to the application process and all that. But when you see yourselves going through the entire process all the way up until releasing a trained officer into the field, there's a lot of gratification in looking at those classes and the people who are part of it. It's probably pretty exciting for someone in your position.
It is. It's seeing an officer mature from day one in the field to, their final eval a year in the field. It's the maturity level that we see by that time is very rewarding.
So let's talk a little bit about the requirements, because I think a lot of people who may be thinking about this, you really get people from all walks of life. Some used to be policemen and sheriff's department. Some used to be in military. There's a wide range of people who come into a conservation officer position. Tell us what you're looking for, and what's the recruitment process look like?
So to be qualified to apply, you have to have at least 64 college hours or an associate's degree. If you don't have any college hours, 2 years of sworn law enforcement experience will suffice for the college hours. Also, you have to be at least 21 years of age by the time the hiring date hits.
Yeah, at least 21 years of age. So someone says, I'm interested. Let's talk about the hiring process.
Okay, so say for instance, this upcoming class, we're looking at opening up applications in January. They will stay open from roughly January 10th to February 10th. Once State Personnel Board closes that, it usually takes them a week or so to get me the applications and to vet them, making sure everybody's qualified. Once I do that, I will send out an email and set up they'll actually do another packet and send it to me with a health physical and all that in it. Then we'll set up a PT test and a swim test date. And once we do that, roughly a week or two later, we'll start our interviews. And sometimes we do 1 round of interviews. Sometimes it's up to 3 rounds of interviews.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, so someone gets selected. as we talked about, the training process is a long process. So what do they have to look forward to when if they say, okay, I made it through this cut, I'm going to do this, but I still have the fear I'm going to get weeded out at some point, sort of like the Marines. But talk to me about that process.
Well, it's like I tell everybody, we've had folks show up that could do 150 push-ups without stopping, and they just didn't have it. Their wheel wasn't strong enough, and we've had folks that couldn't finish do 5 or 10 push-ups and ended up top of the class. So it's all in what you want, not what you can do, but what you want. But once you're hired, we always come to our academy first. They'll do anywhere from 6 to 10 weeks at our academy, and then they'll go to Malota, the police academy in Pearl. Once they finish the 11 weeks of that, they will come back to us to finish up the remainder of the 13 weeks, whatever they didn't finish on the front end.
That's amazing. It's as we said, it's a lot more rigorous today. They've got to learn the law like they probably never had to deal with it before. They've got to learn a lot about psychology, a lot of focus on de-escalation. And, the reality that you and I have talked about in the past is that oftentimes it's just going to be that officer and whoever they encounter out in the field. And it really requires a certain set of skills. Now, the average person is more aware of that today because of a lot of the reality TV shows that are out there today. And we know that most of the people they encounter are going to be terrific people. They don't mean to break the law. In most cases, they're not breaking the law. But every now and then, they're going to run across something that could be a difficult scenario. And you got to have them ready for that, don't you?
Yes, sir. Like every law enforcement agency, most of the time you're on your own. You've got backup, minutes away. The difference with us is we may be, parked on the side of the road, but we may be a mile in the woods, and, just getting to our vehicles, step one. Step two is getting to us, wherever we're at in the woods.
Oh, man, that is, I understand that can be a tough situation. We're lucky, though, in Mississippi. Most of the people you're going to encounter, as I mentioned, as you've discussed in the past, they're all good people wanting to do the right thing. And, having the opportunity to brush shoulders with people like that it gives you some job satisfaction, doesn't it?
Yes, sir, it does, especially when we see fathers, grandfathers, uncles, or even mothers or aunts or grandmothers out taking their, the kids out for the first time hunting or fishing. That's the reward of the jobs. Just seeing that light switch flick on and say, hey, I like this.
I think you're so right about that. That's one of the reasons I enjoy doing this show, is talking about the connection that so many of us have with showing the next generation a love of the outdoors, and that's so much what it's about. I mean, my goodness, I can't say enough good things about that. Well, Brent, what else is going on in your world these days?
Like I said, just final evaluations for the last class, and I still try to get out in the field a little bit. And, in my home county of Scott County, we still got folks that call and, want you to come to their hunting clubs and talk and just visit and things of that nature.
Yeah, you were a conservation officer for, my memory, like 17 or 18 years, weren't you?
Yes, sir. So
you bring into this role a lot of experience. You've probably seen just about all there is to see in that amount of time.
You would think so, but being in the office now, I hear a lot of stories that, I sit back and think, I never come across anything like that. So there's always something different to come up.
Hey, it's interesting. Technology has really changed things. I mean, especially cellular cameras. The ability for people to really know what's going on their property is super dynamic. That's probably added a whole new dimension to what you guys are up to.
It has. It makes you have to slip around a little bit harder, but it goes the same way with us. I'm pretty much a fossil now compared to these new officers. And when I come on, we had a plat map, a property ownership map to figure out who was the landowners of each map. Now you got apps, different apps to show you. You can just pull it up on your phone. You don't need a compass anymore or anything like that. You just pull out your phone and hope you got phone service.
Yeah, the technology, man, from that perspective, from looking at the really high definition views, satellite views of any property you want to see, a particular hunting app that we use, obviously it shows all the property lines. It gives us the ability to put where our stands are and all this. We can do wind direction. I mean, it's insane what's happened with technology, but it does play into your training, though, doesn't it?
It does. 5 or 6 years ago, we strictly, on our land navigation training, we strictly stuck with maps and compasses. And now we allow them to pull out their phones and pull up these hunting apps and say, okay, this is the direction I need to go. This is where I come from. So we incorporate the compass training as well as, the more realistic stuff like the hunting apps that they make and use.
That's just so interesting. It's so interesting. Listen, Brent, keep up the good work, my friend. I enjoy catching up with you, and good luck with this next class. Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
This has been Captain Brent Madden from the Mississippi Conservation Officers Training Academy. It's always good to catch up with him. When we come back, we're going to be joined by my friend Cuz Strickland from Mossy Oak. We'll see you after this.